everyone, welcome back to my channel. It's Nicole here at Pixel Maven's Retreat. If you're new, please do click on the subscribe button. I'd love to have you stop by when I provide you new content every week. So I'm here today with the Altenew December release, and we have new inks for you, 3 new ink families. And I know you are just going to love these. They are moody, they are subdued, they are perfect for winter projects, for fall projects. Really, I think you're just going to love how classic and classy these shades are. So we have Sugarplums, Fall Harvest, and Tranquility. Purple shades, some golden yellow shades, and some blue shades that I just really think help to bring together the entire family of Altenew inks. So I've got 2 card projects for you today that help highlight some of those. And don't forget to stop over to my blog and leave a comment for the giveaways that we have. There's some gift certificates going around at each of the hop stops, so be sure to stop at every hop stop and leave a comment so that way you can perhaps win one of the gift cards. So without further ado, let's get started with my projects. Okay, so the first card, I created a really cool watercolored background using the geometric landscape and a handful of the new colors. So as you know, they come in both the sets, the cube sets of 4, or you can also get them in the larger round size like this one here. And it's up to you. They both do the same thing. Some people like the larger pads, some people like the smaller ones. So what I like about the larger one, or the smaller pads, is that I can do a fun watercolor concept here. And all I'm doing is taking the dark night, nimbus, and cloudy sky, and then I'm going to add in plum, which is the darkest purple color, and grape agate, and amethyst, just onto my glass working surface here. And I'm going to go ahead and spritz it with some water so that the colors will start moving. And then I have the geometric landscape already heat embossed on here with some clear embossing powder just on some 140-pound cold press watercolor. And now I can just go ahead and dip this in. And you can see I'm starting to get some really cool effects here. So I'm just going to add a little bit of water and just keep dipping and smushing my colors in until I get what I'm looking for. So I can dry in between and then go ahead and add more colors, which is what I think I'm going to do right now. Okay, now that this is mostly dry, I'm really loving the way that some of these lighter colors have come into play, but I really want to add more darkness to this. So I'm just going to add a whole bunch of the dark night and then some of the plum down here and do the same process. So just get these really wet, add a little bit of water on the card, and then see, now I'm starting to get some really cool looks here. And just by pouncing this up and down a little bit, I'm getting some really neat texture in here, which is going to add to the depth of this card design. So I'm really happy with this. I thought maybe I just add a little bit more water to get some more movement, and then I'm going to go ahead and dry this without lifting up any of this color, and that's going to get me lots of really cool dark spots and swirls and a lot of movement in this background. So I think the best thing about this technique is that every time you do it, you're going to come up with a different result. And as you can see in this one, I got a little bit more purple and the colors are spaced out a little bit differently, but in the end, it's going to be beautiful. So I have some double-sided adhesive already on the back of my watercolor piece here. And I'm just going to go ahead and adhere that to my card base. And once I have that in place, it's not coming up. That's the great thing about using double-sided adhesive with your watercolor panels. And then I have a sentiment also from the geometric landscapes to go ahead and add on. I stamped this using the embossing ink and the Thanks Pal sentiment on some pale gray cardstock. And I just heat embossed it with some black embossing powder. So there you go, first card. So for the second project, I thought I would do some more watercoloring, and I created a really nice wash background using the Fall Harvest set, and then I combined the Tranquility and Fall Harvest to make some non-traditional florals. So we'll start with the background panel, and this is just starting off with the lightest shade. So this is the butternut, and I want to make sure that I have plenty of ink to work from, especially with the lightest shade. And I'll go ahead and get my panel wet so that way when I pick up my ink, it'll just be ready to go ahead and follow that pattern. All right, so first layer, and then I'll go ahead and add in some of the pumpkin pie. And I love this pumpkin pie color. It is truly like pumpkin pie. You'd think that it might be a little bit more orange, but it is really like when you pull that pie out of the oven, that warm, yellowy orange color. So a second layer, and then I'll even go so far as to add in some of the yellow ochre, which is a little bit more yellow than orange. And that is a good start for the background. And then what I'll go ahead and do is dry this up, and then we'll add in some spatter with the Sicilian amber. All right, so now that that's dry, I'm just going to take the Sicilian amber, and this is a beautiful dark, almost mustardy shade, and just add a little bit of water to get it moving. And then I'll just go ahead and add some spatter. And it is a lovely look, other than instead of using gold or black or white, it just brings all of that monochromatic look together. All right, so this is the completed background, and I have it already attached to the card base. I think I'm going to leave it without a sentiment, so that way when I pull this card out for sending later on, I can add the sentiment that I'd like. I'll probably use the sentiment strip stamp set, as it has so many options for me. So I'm going to set this aside, and we'll work on the flowers. And I have one already done here, so you can see that it is a loose watercolor, and I used the Misty Morning to do the stamping. So there is a nice faint line on there. You can actually see it quite well from my vantage point, and it's perfect for me to go ahead and do some watercoloring. So this is kind of like a no line look. You are going to see the line a little bit, but it really does add to the overall effect. So I'll just start with some Misty Morning and get some of that in place here, and it's just loose, so I'm not really trying to stay in the lines necessarily. I'm just trying to get some color in place here. And then if I want, I can move into the cloudy sky to add some depth to each of these little leaves. And of course, you don't have to do traditional green for your florals. It's fun to experiment with different colors. Just finish these guys up here, and the stems as well. And then I can go into some of the nimbus to really give it just a little pop of dark. And when they dry, they're really going to look quite outstanding. So while I'm finishing these up, don't forget to stop over to my blog to enter into the gift certificate giveaway. I have a $15 gift certificate for Altenew, and all the stops on the hop today have gift certificates, so you'll want to stop at all of them to increase your chances of winning. And there are 6 $30 gift certificates being given away, 3 on the Altenew card blog and 3 on the scrapbook blog. So make sure that you're stopping at all the stops, and you want to pop over to my blog because that's the official place to leave a comment. If you're watching already on my blog, of course, just go down below and leave a comment. All right, so you can see that these guys can come together pretty quick. Like I said, I'm not trying to make them look super realistic. I mean, they have blue leaves, so they're not going to be too realistic, of course, to begin with. So going back into the yellow now, I'm going to pick up some pumpkin pie and just kind of dot it around. So this is a really great technique if you're new to watercolor. You don't have to worry about trying to stay in the lines and make all sorts of deep, dark shadows and all that kind of stuff. So that's the pumpkin pie. I'll go ahead and add in some of the yellow ochre just to give it a different tone. And then even go into the Sicilian amber. This is the darkest color from the fall harvest, and just give that a little bit in the center of these. All right, so those just need a minute or two to dry, and then we can go ahead and finish assembling the card. All right, so to finish assembling the card, I need to just do a little bit of floral arranging, and I like the way that I have this set up on the original design. So there's one piece that kind of comes out like so, and then this one and this one are kind of, they're actually glued together. So I'll go ahead and do that. Glue these guys. So they just kind of pop together, and if you have any overhang, of course, you can just snip off the back if you need to. So that's pretty good. Like so. And this one is going to go flat on the card. Like so. And then I will go ahead and add some foam adhesive on the back here to make this layer pop up. That's pretty good. And it's going to go ahead and cover this stem right here. So the stems almost kind of match up. And there we go. So you can put a sentiment on here or you can leave it without. Either way, it looks really fabulous. So I hope you enjoyed this quick view into the new colors for Altenew this month. Of course, don't forget to stop at all the blog hop stops so that you can enter into all the giveaways. I'm so glad that you stopped by today, and I will be back soon with more videos. But until next time, happy crafting.